Hello, hello, everyone, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. My name is Kev, and you know what? I thought about this conversation. Like this is a conversation that I have quite often in various groups, in various places, and what I wanted seriously was to have a good dialogue about this because being that the platform that YouTube is, being a public platform, of course we're going to have there's a chance that someone besides someone of African descent will come across this program sooner or later. But when you have a channel that's named such as mine, then the conversation is going to be central to whatever community that is targeted. And since black is the first word in the name, then this is a conversation that'll pertain to, you know, people who are labeled black, by origin, descent, race, African American, ADOS, descendants of Africa across the diaspora, whatever you want, melanated, whatever label you want to go with at this point in time. Just rest assured that whatever's implied by the name of this YouTube channel, um, that's who this conversation is for. This conversation is not going to be for everyone, and for my viewership, my subscriber base. Thank you for your continued support, and let me continue to deliver whatever whatever messages I got for you in the most brutally honest way possible for you to. Uh, in saying that, I will also be doing things on Black Avenger TV coming real soon. Uh, and I will do things the Black Avenger way over there. But, always sticking to the theme of how I do things, not to modify or to change too much, but to stay, the person who came to this platform, being brutally honest, being myself, basically, wanting to have an honest conversation with my people, a brutally honest conversation. And when I have this conversation with people, I want to make sure that everyone understands that this is for my people. It's not for another group of people, whether that be man, woman, and child of said group. That's who these conversations are for. What I don't like is the typical straw man argument. Of course, yes, I do think that black people are too quick to judge other blacks. I think we are. I think we're super hard on each other. I think that's rooted from a conditioning that has existed within us, since the beginning, since our beginnings in this country, and that's a conversation that we've had quite numerous amount of times. I mean, but also let's be all realistic here. I do understand that it is 2019, but we're not going to pretend like certain conditions don't exist that led to the conditions that we experience today. Like, if I want to have, like, I feel like this for everything that my people have been through in this country. We should be able to have a real and honest conversation with each other without bringing up, little stupid straw man arguments. I do understand. I do understand this though. I do understand this. I understand that, yes, that we do have challenges as a people on a social level. Depending on the category which you fall under, like man, woman, child, um, light skin, dark skin, because we make all those distinguishments. We do make all those distinguishments. It's like you can sit up there and pretend or be high and mighty and act like everything's wrong with the way people talk. But most of the people that I hear talk like that are participants in it. You know, like, I'm very conscious because of this kind of dialogue about what kind of YouTube channel that this particular channel is going to be. Like, I never want to be the what's wrong with black people YouTube channel. I never want it to be that. If there are conversations to be had, I want those conversations to be had, period. But what are let me tell you something. In the black sector of YouTube, and let's put it let's narrow it down to the black sector of YouTube. Which channels do the greatest within the black sector? The positive, roses are red, violets are blue black YouTube channels. Do those?
No, it's the channels that have drama, that constantly have drama. They're the channels that win. But somebody like your channel, they do not win. I'm just saying. I'm just telling it like it is. This is black man being brutally honest, and I'm being brutally honest about the situation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
happens all the time.
Yes, and could you elaborate more? Because I just so happen to feel like that I have the best show on YouTube. But I'm an undiscovered gem. So, but
Yeah.
further elaborate. I think I know where you're going with this, but I want to hear you say.
It's all about the beef. If you not like me, for example, if you're not having beef and you really like having actual issues that's going on, whether it be in your city, state, whatever. If you have something real, if you have real content, that's not accepted. But the drama is people get over 2 million views just off of drama, just off of he said, she said, or off of she wasn't, or this or that. Just a bunch of drama. They get views off of that, and they make money off of that. I'm not,
But
I'm not, I'm not mad about it. But how,
yeah,
but how
like,
long are you? I mean, I really just want to ask some of these people, like, are you willing to sell your soul just for money?
man, let me
Because
tell you'll be surprised with what somebody do for $40. I'll say I'll tell you that much. But
it ain't
but here,
it ain't that
it's
serious.
like it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame where the appeal is. But if that's where the appeal is, and and I'm not going to pretend like this has been a totally positive channel because I mean, in order to be brutally honest, okay, say if it was like I named this black man being brutally honest, and this is and I made it into like a roses are red positive channel, it would be a false, it would be a false environment. I wouldn't expect anyone to buy into that. Even though I feel like that's what our people have a tendency to complain about the level of negativity that are in each one of these conversations. And it's
Yeah.
like they don't want they don't want I would say if they were like pro black or they put black people at the top, that these conversations aren't necessary. All these conversations get nothing done. These conversations aren't positive. I mean, but for those people who say that on a regular basis on YouTube, don't you think that they need to take steps in order to to make positive content?
Yes, I
See,
definitely think so. I definitely
yeah,
think so. Because at the end of because at the end of the day, it's not it's not that serious. It's not that big of a deal because I've been told on several occasions that I need to change my content just so I can make money because they people feel like YouTube is big business. And I'm sorry. I do this for a hobby. Nothing personal. I just do this for a hobby. You know
but
what I'm saying? And I do it to get my to hopefully have somebody one day hear what I'm actually saying. Or, you know,
okay, so the object for you is to one day to get to that level.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
you know
talking
what? Yeah, but
I'm talking about legislators, people from Michigan, so they can understand and know where I'm coming from.
oh,
You
okay.
know,
So
it's
using
more.
your so using your platform to make a positive impact on something you think that needs attention immediately.
Yes, most
All right.
definitely.
Yeah, and that's great
And I
stuff. That's great
and
stuff.
I do reviews every now and then, but mostly my channel is about me trying to reach these legislators, trying to reach somebody, because I just feel like if you don't say nothing, nothing is gonna get done.
Oh,
If you
okay.
if
And by the way, what is the name of your YouTube channel?
It's my name, it's Raphael Hartwick. I'm
Raphael Hart.
subscribed. I'm subscribed to you too.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome. And I appreciate that, as I do
You good?
appreciate all of my subscribers and all of the people that fucks with me. But
Uh,
but I told people in an earlier broadcast, look, I try to kind of slow down the cursing a little bit so they can listen to the broadcast in other places. But that depends on them. And speaking of, you say you do reviews every now and again. You know what? In the like that kind of thing does actually work on YouTube. Like if you put some effort into it, like talking about little stuff like comic books and anime cartoons and doing movie reviews and stuff. And speaking of which, we also have a channel coming pretty soon called the Black Dimension. It's a little brainchild of Roger, Donnie, and myself. That we're going to be doing that very stuff. So just be on the lookout for any links that we put out there, and hopefully we'll see. We'll see what we can do with that. We kind of like stuff like watching movies and watching cool stuff as far as technology advances and stuff like that.
yeah.
So that channel will be called the Black Dimension, and it will be coming soon. Of
Good
course,
name,
those
by
are
the way.
yeah, of course. Because in a way the name is kind of symbolic because of I consider Black YouTube the Black Dimension. Like, this is just something I just came up with. Roger has a different understanding. Donnie might have a different understanding, but this is where we started at. We started in the black sector of YouTube. I do see great things for the black sector of YouTube, but one thing that we do have to understand is that when we have conversations, they are conversations for us. You may have some guys that talk that little other little stuff, that conservative stuff, and that being pro-conservative does not necessarily mean anti-black, but it's like a lot of the views to me are just kind of suspect and questionable. And I mean suspect, not meaning that other suspect, but, it
Yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But let me screen share an image real quick. Of course, I often mention the group Black being brutally honest with everyone, the Facebook group.
yeah.
As a Facebook.
I follow you on your Facebook group. And them
Yeah,
questions, I gotta tell you, them questions was hilarious. I was cracking up all the way through. I was like,
yeah. It's
uh,
like, yeah, people put up all kinds of stuff, and one thing people have to realize is that when outsiders come in and then they see it and they're like, oh my god, how can a black person say that to another black person? Yeah, then that's when the whole and then that's where a lot of this conversation comes from. Um, let me make sure that the picture's in the right place. I'm gonna screen share real quick, and I want to show you an image. I'm gonna read the
okay,
caption, all that stuff. Let's see. Boom. Set up everything, and okay. All right. You see this now?
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's whoever that is. We're not going to focus on that. But thought I put the other image in. But anyway, um, yeah. But I'm gonna read the caption. Lousy fellas. If this was your child mother, what would you do? Okay, now let's not focus on like what the caption is. Let's focus on the image for a second. What are your first thoughts of that?
Mm,
And I and
my
I
first,
and, and what I'll
I
do
have,
is and what I give you the feedback that we got in the group. I don't have screenshots because I don't want people put people's names out there like that. But I'll
yeah,
explain some of the talking points that were brought up. So, what do you think? What do you see in that?
I see us being looked at in a negative way. Like, we're looked at as we're ghetto, we're from the hood. We deal with this type of woman right here.
Oh, okay. Let's what we do is let's focus on what the action is going on with the mother and the daughter. Okay, what would you think initially when you see that? Let's not focus on the caption that the young man gave. Let's not focus on Shaquille O'Neal, although that's funny. Uh, um, okay. Let's focus on the what they are doing. What is your say that we all assume things? What is your first assumption?
My first
What
assumption is, because I don't have my glasses on, so when you first said, "Oh, what," I'm looking at the picture, and it looks like she is show. It looks like she's taking her daughter to do a trick or something. I don't know. Um,
Okay, actually, that's very that's that's very nice. Okay, here's my point of view right here, because it's like my daughter is a part of a her she was she was we just took her out of it though. She was a part of the ballet tumbling class, so it's quite possible that the little girl is in a ballet tumbling class. As for the mother,
but but regardless if she's in ballet or not, that is just disrespectful and wrong on so many levels.
wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So
It is.
so let me bring up some of the points that were brought up on the post. All right, um, one guy. This is a black dude. One dude said that he was torn on it. That he's a martial arts trainer, and they do various stretching exercises. They yeah. What he was trying to do was he was trying to imply that maybe they have some form of martial arts training, and they're just doing stretches. You know.
Okay, so black. If they have this sort of training, why couldn't they do this in their house and not outside? What is the problem? I'm seeing this more and more every day. Like, okay, if you and your daughter want to do this type of stuff, don't do it outside. And then when somebody come up and try to touch you, then you want to scream rape. And
Well, even with that being said, there's no excuse for a woman to, anybody to do any kind of unwanted touching. Let's go ahead and tell that. It's like even if I pass by a woman and see them do that, my first inclination will not be to touch. It would like and I wouldn't wonder in any other way. But let me just say it like this. What okay, let me bring up another point somebody said. Somebody okay, now this was a young lady. This was a young woman. Yeah, she's melanated. She was like, I don't see what the problem is. That's what she said. I do not see where the problem is here.
I mean, different strokes for different folks, but I see this as a big problem. I'm sorry, I just do. Because you're outside. Now, if she was inside her house, okay, cool.
Okay.
But
Well, let okay, go ahead.
you're
Go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
outside. You're
Outside.
outside doing this with your
Okay.
child.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me show you another image. Let me show you another image. All right. Okay. On that same post, they posted this picture mashup right here. This is the woman and her child. The same woman and her child in front of the red car. And what they did was, I think this was like a totally separate social media post by somebody else, but I just got the image. They found a picture of a white lady and her daughter doing the exact same thing, the exact same pose. And what happened was is like it was one of those points that they brought up, kind of the whole you're quick to judge things. So what do you say to that now?
I'm not quick to judge things. I'm just saying, across the board, whether you white, black, Asian, purple, blue, I don't care. Doing it outside, that is across the board wrong. Period.
Okay, so well, basically, what you're telling me is the non-black mother daughter is just as wrong as the black mother daughter.
I'm saying they equally both wrong. Equally. Cause
Equally.
yeah, because why are you doing this outside? And like nothing surprises me anymore. And this new day and age, nothing surprises me anymore. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it's wrong on both sides. So I'm not just judging one side, not judging the other. It's wrong on both sides.
Okay. All right. But what would you say to people who would say that we were being too harsh on you? You would say that same thing, that we were just wrong on both sides. So let
Yeah. Because I'm real honest, and this is wrong on both sides. It don't matter. It's wrong. Period. Now, I will say this though. They will see this black woman and arrest her for doing what she did, but they'll get this white lady a pass because of white privilege. Now
okay.
that I will say. That's about it.
Okay, so you say that as a group that yes, we are very harsh on the we'll give the white mother daughter a pass, but we won't give the black mother daughter a pass. That's what you just said, right?
No, I'm saying like let's just say a cop came up and saw a black mother doing what's in this picture. They're going to
Uh,
give her a ticket. They're going to
they're
give
gonna
her a
give her a ticket
ticket
for what? For what though?
for having her leg up in the air. This is not appropriate on both sides.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't say that they would stay in the pose itself. I mean, like they probably just did for a hot second and then put their leg back down. I mean, but I'll tell you another person brought up this point too. Is that is like as far as they on being on the other side of it. And this was a young lady. She was like, "No, they're not dancers. They're not anything else. Stop making excuses for thottish behavior." Saying that
Exactly.
about saying that about that.
That's not even. I don't look at it as thoughtish behavior. I look at it as Why would you do it outside? Why wouldn't you do it in the house? Because see, it's different for blacks than it is for whites. So I don't get the whole, and I know you probably saying it's very much different. It's just certain things I feel like we should know better.
Mm.
Certain things.
Certain things that we should know better. Yeah, and that's pretty obvious. Like, how do you think this picture made it to social media? Did you think this picture made it to social media because they just wanted to troll, or the picture made it to social media at first because they just wanted to be serious about? Uh, would you say that this was a healthy mother-daughter relationship right
Would I say that?
here? Yes.
Could be possibly.
Yeah.
But
I
but
mean,
but one but one thing I that you have to understand is these are new day and age parents. These are new day and age parents. So I'm not surprised to see this on a social media platform.
okay. Yeah. Cause,
Just
yeah. Cause, go ahead. Go ahead.
this is a new new day and age, so I'm not surprised. I'm really not.
Mm. Well,
I'm
like I
not.
said, well, here's what I think. I think that yes, we do have a tendency to assume the worst of our people. We do have a tendency for that, but some things are just what they are. Some things are just what they are. If I mean, but who knows what the story is? Is like yes, we are super hard on ourselves. Let me take this image down because I just don't want to doing this.
I agree with you. I agree
Yeah,
with you.
yeah,
I agree with you, and I know I'm super hard on myself because I know I'm black, and I know that if I was to get into some serious trouble, like serious trouble, they're not gonna give me a pass and tell me I can walk out the door. That's just period.
okay. Okay. Well, all right then. What the point that I was trying to make seriously is that we have all the same challenges. In that we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves because I mean, and I don't want to even do that. I don't even want the rest of. I don't even want to think about in the framing of the rest of the world. It's like what the rest of the world think really doesn't matter to me. The fact of the matter is like if you really want healing, you're gonna have to look at yourself first. If you really want if you want good out of a situation, you bring good to it. So here's the thing: all the little complaining is negativity. If you're complaining about negativity, but you're not offering any solutions, why the fuck are you complaining about anyone else doing it? It's like, are black people quick to judge other black people? Yeah, but who better to be our critics than black people? Who better to be our critics? I mean, everything ain't got to be hurtful or disrespectful. Everything ain't got to be that way. And yes, some things about ourselves do hurt because they're just fucked up, and that's just what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, but the action is way worse than having a discussion about it. Discussion about it makes you conscious. Think about how embarrassing it is to be broke. Like just to be broke without trying. Many people are broke for many reasons. But let's say that you're broke because you won't work and you're a lazy person.
That is not the case.
that is not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's just say you're broke. Like that's not the case with us. That's not the case with us. But what I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is this: imagine how embarrassing that conversation is. But do you think, as a form of healing, is that a conversation that needs to be had with the people that you care about? Would you want a lazy person in your life? Basically,
No, I
that,
wouldn't. I wouldn't want
yeah,
a lazy person in my life. And you know who you sound like? You sound like the person I'm dating because she like, you're evolving, you're changing, you need to leave these people alone. You sound just like her. To
yeah,
like
yeah. But I'm not saying that
literally.
you're lazy. I'm not saying that any particular person is lazy. I'm just trying to use an example. Okay, so what if you tried an intervention with that lazy person, and then they turned around and said, well, you're just judging me, or you're quick to judge a black person. Do you think that's reasonable? Or do you think that's not reasonable? I mean,
Okay.
that's all I'm saying in all of this. Is like I'll give you a sweet pass if you deserve a sweet pass. You know, but I should be able to.
So
I should,
so
and anybody should be able to approach you with a conversation, especially if it's us. Now, if it's random ass non-black dude want to approach you with a conversation that is pertinent to your community, that is pretty fucking absurd. It is. But like your brother sitting next to you, that conversation shouldn't be a problem.
but but you know what? In this new day and
Yep.
age, it is a problem. It is a problem. I can see somebody doing something and I say something and I get completely cussed out.
Yeah, because some people
You
can't take shit. Like some people can't take shit. I mean,
exactly.
you get in front, you get in front, and you try to say something or try to delegate, and then there's always and not necessarily in all sets, but in some sets there's some pushback. I mean,
Yeah.
what happens is that we have a tendency to want since we're talking about race here, and since we're talking about our particular group, we have a tendency to look at each other and think that we're all on a level playing field. So honestly, you can't say shit to me. I can do what I want to do. Blah blah blah. That's the kind of point of view that we kind of deal with here. Instead of considering the person on the other side might be trying to do you some good. You know,
Exactly. And trust
like
me,
yeah, if you grown enough, of course, if you grown enough, of course, it ain't. It's the it'll be it, and in a lot of cases, it'll be the you can't tell me shit kind of attitude. But as long as you're contributing something productive to it, like who would have a problem with that if you're a productive person in that environment? And that's what the conversation and that's what an understanding brings. I'll put it to you like that. Please try to
yeah.
understand when people like, and then I have problems with this too sometimes with people's straightforwardness. But what one thing I feel like that I've worked on is I've given myself the ability to think a little bit more, think things through. Because compared to
Yeah.
my younger self was very spastic. I wasn't violent, but but I was I didn't have too many problems with people trying to challenge me or whatever. But in conversation, I was. It's like I could see instantly when a person was trying to be smug, and
Exactly.
I will bite their heads off right then
And
and
what
there.
and
It's
what
not a
I
thing to do. Go ahead.
and what I'm learning at the age of 24, I just turned it on July the 1st. Um what I'm learning is that you can't you all that going back and forth with people, you can't make people be on your side. You have to
Yeah,
let people believe what they want to believe, let people think what they want to think, and you move on.
yeah. You have to inspire something in people to get them to follow you. It's nothing that is automatic. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I'm young,
I totally.
but I'm getting older, and the fact of the matter is, I don't as I'm the as, as I get older, the less and less I don't want to cause conflict or argue with nobody.
Yeah, yeah, but you know what? It's like sometimes it's like you have one of those things where I wish I go back and tell my younger self, that cooler heads do actually prevail. So that's my advice to you. The cool is better. It's like all that dramatic bullshit, like that's stressful. That's stressful, and it's like it's time consuming. It's
Yeah,
like it's time where you can spend doing other stuff.
yeah.
Besides, I would say a lot of this drama that goes on. Man, drama makes for great television. I'll tell you that. And and what I meant to say a little bit earlier is I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. Period. I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. Get those views how you get those views, but don't be complaining when someone says something you don't like because odds are you have said a lot of things that other people don't like.
Don't like
But
exactly,
at least we can keep these conversations contained within us. It's not a judging thing. Is that if you want if you are what you say you are and you want honest dialogue, it's not judging. It's not judging. You get what you ask for.
exactly.
You get
Or
what you ask for.
or as I like to say, you get what you give.
Okay. Oh yeah, exactly. Input output, that kind of thing. Okay, so we have Roger Stevens here. Roger, do you hear me? Yeah, he must be removed for a second. But anyway, yeah, he'll speak when the time comes. But Roger Stevens has a YouTube channel called The Roger Report. So please go check him out by all means.
Very much so.
But
Hmm.
but like I said, keep the cool head. Now, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. There are bitter people out there. Let's
And
not
I
pretend they don't exist.
and
Oh,
I
go
was
ahead, go ahead,
one
bro.
of them. I was one of them bitter people, so I can relate. I
Bitter,
definitely can relate.
bitter.
I was one. Yeah. Cause
Yeah,
when I
okay,
when in my younger in my younger days, I used to be mad because my dad he didn't want to. My dad he didn't want to be in my life, but now that I'm at the age I am now, which is 24, I know for a fact that it's not my fault and it's not my problem. That's something that he got to deal with, and
but you're talking about. But you're what you're saying is I mean I don't mean to come off as trying to tell you how to feel, but that's not necessarily bitterness, man. I mean it might be resentment and anger, but bitterness I would say is more something that stems from something that is a part of who you are. I think what you had was a little bit of anger and resentment. That's all I'm saying. I would never call that bitterness. Just even you, like I said, you can feel how you
oh,
want to feel about it,
I definitely know that it was anger. And that's what I was trying to say, not bitterness. I was trying to say it was a lot of anger. I had a lot of anger built up in me, and I just took it out on anybody I could. And I know that's not right, but I did it, and I had to apologize to some people. Like seriously.
well, I mean, you're owning it. You're owning it, which is a big step toward any kind of any kind of healing or any kind of damage you thought you might have done. So I mean, I feel like that's really good. That's very big and mature of you, man. So here's you owning it. I salute you, bro.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you, thank you,
I
cause
mean,
I thank you, cause I was very angry. One when I was younger, I was very angry. Trust me,
mm,
very
angry
angry.
and hey, man, let me ask you a question. Did that hostility cause you to be judgmental toward others?
No, it didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It didn't make me be judgmental towards others. I was very judgmental towards myself, in which I'm still am because I just I'm slowly coming out of this thing where because I used to feel like maybe it's something wrong with me because I'm in this chair as you can see by the picture. I don't know if you could tell, but um yeah, I used to always feel like something was wrong with me until one day I woke up and I thought about it and I said, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with me. It's him.
No.
So
Uh, uh,
I mean, and I had to get to this place.
so do you think people judge you too quickly? You know, I mean, I know that with you and your condition, that people do have a tendency to do that. Like just
Yes,
in the
yes,
sense of they
very,
think that
very, very much
they,
so.
yeah, that they think that you're not as capable as that as you are. Having the ability to be able to you know you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
Do they
know.
do?
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, and you know where I've really noticed this. I'm in college, and I see it. Like certain people, they have little smart remarks telling me, "Oh, you can't do the same work. You gonna fail this class." Blah 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 blah. And I look at them like, "What? Just because
Mm,
I'm in a wheelchair?" I was just talking to somebody about this. Just because I'm in a wheelchair, you think I can't do the same thing that y'all can do? Just like me being in a wheelchair, people think that I'm paralyzed. I am nowhere near paralyzed. I just cannot walk.
I mean, you're pretty much just like anyone else. I
Except
mean, except for just the obvious.
Roger. Whew.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
I
that
don't know
fiend.
what I don't know what was happening. But I feel
No,
like I'm
that was my
I don't know
bad.
what was
Sorry, sorry.
you good?
Yeah, but thanks for joining us, Roger. Me and Raphael were just having a very interesting conversation. About how black people are too quick to judge other black people, and because of his condition, how people are quick to judge him. You know, so I
Very,
mean,
very,
it was
very,
definitely I would say it was definitely an eye opener for me. You know, and
very,
and
very much so because a lot of people think, oh, because you're in a wheelchair, you got it easy, and that's definitely not the case. My joystick just broke on my chair, and I had to tape it up just so I can go to school today.
mm.
It's not a game. It's not a joke at all.
So you got challenges just like anybody else, bro.
Yeah. Tra- trans- Transportation, getting from point A to point B, dealing with different bull crap that go on. it's, I got challenges just like everybody else, but and it also too, everybody thinks when you get a social security check, you winning, and that's not the truth. That ain't the business. Social security is enough for you to live and enough for you to pay your bills or whatever, but it's not enough for you to have fun. If you get what I'm saying, like people think if you get a Social Security check, you winning. No, no, not at all. Not a chance.
Well, I'm gonna just leave it like this. A wise man told me, and I believed him. You never trade your problems for somebody else's. So yeah, we all
No,
got our
and
post
I
of the day.
and I tell people all the time, you could not handle being in a wheelchair for 24 hours.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Honestly, I don't look at other people's problems. You know what I'm saying, and just say, hey, it's gotta be easy. I mean, well, you can say something is easier, but it's all about with people. They get so emotional. They really want to have you deal with how it feels to them rather than what their actual problem is. But when it comes to someone actually handicapped, yeah, I don't touch that. I'm not gonna. Me. I give anybody a pass if death is involved, or if it's some type of real medical issue. I always say like hospital. So like if you have a disability, I can understand giving a person a pass that you wouldn't get necessarily get someone else because of a disability. But I'm not saying you do it forever because people have to learn to still make moves even though they have a disability. But a new
Uh,
disability, I got to give you some type of grace period.
yeah, and they and the city of Detroit, I use this company called Metrolift where they only give you a 5 minute waiting period. But that's not the point. I'm just saying, my mom told me that this was gonna be hard, and she was right. Cause she told me ain't nobody gonna give you a pass just because you in this wheelchair. So don't even think it. And she told me this at a young age. And I didn't even know what she was talking about until now. She said you gonna have them days where you gonna wanna just give up. And it's been one of them couple of weeks where I just say, what am I doing all this stuff for? Because I have drive and I wanna actually do something. But the people that don't want to do nothing, they don't get all the extra read all about it. They don't get nothing. Just like they're just free as a bird.
Well, I mean, when you're so free that you don't have nothing to worry about, that's a little too free if you ask me. Because if there's nothing you have to concern yourself with, then what type of life are you actually living? You got
Okay. All right, Roger. Hey, Roger.
yes,
Go
sir.
go ahead. Take time to introduce yourself, introduce your channel, and tell everybody what you're about. Say we did the same with Raphael earlier.
Okay, this is Roger Stevens. I am here from the Roger Report. I am a habitual line stepper, like my man Kev here, and Donnie Casanova, who's not here at the moment. But man, I love doing what I do. My channel, the Roger Report, is truthfully all about Black American solutions, and we just try to do it where the conversation can be interesting, or the commentary will be interesting. And honestly, it's the best show on YouTube, and you should check it out. So if you happen to hear this, go to the channel, like, subscribe, and you shouldn't regret it because you should be a cool person. I expect to meet cool people here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you a couple of the same questions I asked Raphael earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. About the topic itself. Are black people too quick to judge other black people? First of all, uh, what do you think about that? What do you think? How would you answer a question like that, Roger?
I, honestly, when people talk about judgment, um, the first thing that really comes to mind is somebody's trying to somehow get out of being accountable. Like because we say like you judge somebody too quickly. Uh, if I mean, we're all supposed to be living a pretty okay life. You're supposed to be doing things that you basically should be doing. yes, it's time to have your fun and all that. But if I'm living my life the way I should live my life, what am I worried about somebody judging me for? So
Mm,
when people start talking about judgments, I see that it's usually a pattern of someone's trying not to be accountable in some kind of way. Or why would you worry about it? You know, I'm not 100% right person. I care about how God might judge me. You know what I'm saying? But the other people in my life, I mean, don't get me wrong. My mom is my mom, and my dad is my dad. I care about how they view me, but everybody else is it's pretty much got to be some money involved for me to truly be concerned with how you feel. To a certain degree, if we don't have a relationship or there's no money involved, it's not really that big a deal to me how you feel, because I already feel like I'm living pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I think I use good morals more than I don't. You know.
mm.
So yeah, I'm not a person that really concerns myself with judging too quickly. But when people start talking about judging, sound like somebody trying to get away from being held accountable for something. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I hear that.
Mm.
Interesting perspective.
Interesting perspective. Okay. All right. I'm finna put this image back up here, Roger.
Okay.
Now, seeing that you are a part of the Facebook group, you've been an integral part of it for a long time. You know kind of how the conversations go in that group.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I would think that we would be the experts on this since we are part of this group and we observe this every day. So when I hear, other YouTubers say stuff about the group, I'm just like, well, sometimes it's like, okay, cool. Other times it's like, what in the absolute fuck are you talking about? But anyway, that's besides the point. Just gonna talk about this one little conversation that we had in the group and that sparked this topic for me. And see, let me go ahead and do the screen share. Alrighty. Okay. All right.
There we go.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
all right. You see the image?
Yeah.
All right. So the caption says, "Lousy, fellas. If this was your child mother, what would you do?"
I mean, that's not a bad question to ask. I would hate to wish that on a brother though, for that to be his child's mother, but it happened to somebody.
Oh, okay. So you already have a very harsh judgment about what's going on in this picture.
I mean, at the end of the day, what I see is something negative. I see basic. If this is a mother and daughter, this is basically mother doing whole behavior, teaching her daughter how to do whole behavior, and because a girl is so young, she'll grow up thinking whole behavior is normal.
Mm, wow, that's pretty direct. So let me just introduce some possibilities to you, like that was introduced in that post that this was posted in. I mean, granted, this wasn't the original poster. This was a screenshot. The poster was a part of of our group, our Facebook group. But
Okay.
let me give you some of the perspectives that were in that post.
Okay.
One guy said, "I have mixed feelings on this. I'm a martial arts trainer, and we do stretching exercises like this. So,
That
uh,
was a guy, right?
say what?
That was a guy you said, right? A guy
Yeah,
said that.
it was a guy. It was, and for the record, for anyone listening, yes, he was a black guy.
Okay, so he would. So if he saw this picture and he's talking about him doing poses, he's not exposing his vagina. You see what I'm saying? If he's a guy doing something like this, he's not exposing his vagina. He's talking about doing something in a controlled environment. She's outside making suggestive movements to anybody in the public because they're outside.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Why would you take a picture of this or have someone take a
Exact.
picture of it for you? You know what I'm saying? And then you put it
Exactly.
on social media. Like there's a lot of negative stuff going on right here.
Exactly. That's what I was explaining to uh
Yeah,
black
because
man
Raphael was
then.
like, yeah, this is outside. Like that's the same thing Raphael said.
Exactly. This is outside. Now, if you want to do it in your house, that's a different thing. You can do what you want. But this is outside. And another thing that I want to add, she's black. She could get arrested very easily. They not playing.
Well, I mean, I don't know what she'd get arrested for, but I'm pretty sure this could possibly attract a trumped up charge. They could do that, you know. I mean, technically, what they're doing ain't illegal, but you know they'll get hit with a trumped up charge if they wanted to, because you know that's just how they do our people. But
Okay, all right,
okay,
all
go ahead,
right,
go ahead, yeah,
all
go
right, all
ahead.
right, all right. Okay, so a young lady. Okay, let's just say like since and I have to keep putting in this disclaimer. I shouldn't have to keep explaining this. This
Hmm.
was a young black lady, an African American, melanated, whatever label you want to put on.
Hmm.
But the first word in this YouTube channel's name is black. So hey, you know what? It's implied and understood that these conversations are within this. This the young black lady said, and this is her comment literally. I
Hmm.
don't see where the problem is with this.
Oh, she probably a hoe too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
a hoe wouldn't see a problem with a hoe.
So, hello guys. Hi
Hello,
everyone.
Ray.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm
I'm
good.
good.
We good.
All right.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Rain. Go ahead, Rain. How are you doing, Rain?
I'm good. I'm good. Like I was looking at y'all on YouTube and I saw the picture and what y'all were talking about. And I was like, before I get busy, let me go say my input on this because like I've been seeing that picture a lot and it's just mind blowing how easily we are quickly to tear that picture down.
Mm,
Like I've seen so many other races have pictures just like that with some skimpier outfits with their children or whatever, and it's fashion, it's dance, it's this, but
No,
this picture
I said it was
it's
wrong on both sides.
I don't
Whether
think
you
either picture was wrong in my opinion. um
okay,
okay, so
I
different strokes,
you're talking
different strokes for different folks.
well, it's not even different. I mean, it's just my yeah, like yeah, my opinion, your opinion is what it is. Um, because actually, I don't want to go back and find that, but I seen the picture. It was like two non-blacks, but they had on shorts too, really skimpy shorts. But of course, what I think the problem is, we as black people we're curvy. Our bodies are way different than as you see theirs, so it looks more thotty-ish on our end because of stop because of how it looks.
so
Like
so so
what?
so you say thotty-ish. You're not counting the red hair and the tattoo on the butt cheek, are you? You're not talking about that, are you?
I mean, why am I gonna judge her for having a tattoo on her thigh and her having red hair?
No, you said that it looked more thotty-ish,
I say
which
it
is
looks thotty-ish because look at her. Compare the white mother and the black mother. The white mother is, of course, thin as fuck, and the black mother, you could tell she actually has a body and more curvy, a little more weight on her.
but what a lot of people were trying to bring out the point. They were trying to give like when this was posted in the group, what what got me about the comments somewhat was there were actually a lot more comments vouching for the black mother and her daughter, saying that this might be some kind of art form, like they might both be dancers. Like I could believe it on the little girl. The mother might used to be a dancer, but like my little daughter, she's in a tumbling ballet class, and they do
Yeah,
stretching stuff like this all the time. I
yeah, I
mean,
agree
so
because
it
my
could.
daughters are flexible like that. Mine not no more. I'm trying to be, but so I kind of get it. But to sit there and to just oh, hoes and this and that. I just think like, damn, yeah, I don't know if what if that lady is a dance instructor? What if her daughter is in a dance class? Like we don't know. We're just going off a picture, and we're so quickly to judge. But anybody else, it's okay
Like,
because they're like
I'm
this.
I
I'm
see where
not
you're coming
saying
from, but my thing is, who cares whether she's a dancer or not? She outside. She's making a provocative pose to the public, and somebody took a picture
What
of
is
it, which means
prerogative? Wait,
with
did you say prerogative
a,
or
a,
what?
a
What you?
provocative pose
Oh,
for
provocative.
the public. This the
What is
pose is
provocative about that post
the,
though?
the, the, the pose. What I see, because everyone sees things differently, and I give you credit there. If people see a picture of the glass, some people see it half full, some people see it half empty.
Well,
But
if you're looking at it like that, then that kind of tells your mind frame. Like, why is everything sexual? Like, how do you
yeah,
like? Why look at that in a sexual way?
because
That's the problem with a lot of black people because we look at stuff
I,
automatically on black people and think sexual, and people, and it's not even like that. We
my
need to
thing
stop
is
sexualizing things that we do as individuals or as a group.
my thing is a
Okay,
if you do a sexual pose,
But how
because
you can't even? Can you
this
explain how
pose.
that is sexual
Okay,
though?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. This pose is about exposing your vagina. That's all. That's what I see. You're outside in the public. This is not. I don't see a dance routine going on. I don't see people in the uniform. None of that stuff. All I see is somebody saying, "Look, I'm flexible." You know what I'm saying? In a sexually suggestive way. That's all I can see from that because
But
I don't see anything going on in the background.
it's just a picture though. We don't know what's
Yeah, yeah.
going on.
It's a
You
picture
know how
of a
many
pose.
people are outside dancing, doing flips, splits, and stuff like
No, no.
that in
I
regular
get that,
clothes?
but I'm saying
So you can't sit
I
there and say it's
no,
suggestive, sexually
no,
suggestive. If
I can
you
because
just
that's
see
what
a
I
picture.
see. No.
It's just
I can because that's what I see. I see a
okay.
suggestive pose of some related to sex, and I see a woman doing it with her daughter. To me, that's a negative thing. Period. I don't see why she would even. People, adults can do whatever they want to do. They don't earn that freedom. You technically can raise your child any way you want to, but for me as a person, I would never want if I had a daughter, I would never want my wife or even a girlfriend to be with my daughter doing that, especially on a public street, posed up against a car like that, doing that. To me, that's insulting to me. Not my daughter, somebody else's daughter. Okay, fine, you let your daughter be that way, not mine.
Okay, like I
I can.
gotta, huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead,
Go ahead.
Kev.
No. I can understand that. I can understand that. I would never like want my like. Wait, I'll say this publicly. I would never want my come outside one day and see my wife posing with my kid in front of the car like that. I wouldn't want to see it. And to me, I guess being married to my wife puts a different complexity on it because it's like to me, I view that as disrespectful. I wouldn't, I wouldn't take pictures with my, with my balls out or nothing like that for everybody to see. And, because I feel like that'll be disrespectful to her. So from a married aspect, yeah, if this woman is married and
So,
she's out in public taking pictures like this, then hey, it's just out of respect because I'm a man. I know there are other men out there that are douchebags that
so
will use
question.
photos like these, like this. Go ahead, go ahead.
So, do y'all say that for both photos or just one photo?
I said
Both.
for
I
both.
mean, I,
Because
but
but
here,
because
I
here's the
said
the
for
other photo
both.
is outside as well. Looks like
No,
they're outside a cafe or something. Like they're out and about, and they
this
just
this
did
this
the
this is the
same
way I
thing.
look at it. This is the way I look at it. I see the photo for the way I see it.
Uh
If
huh.
if a white person does the same thing that I already think is negative, I honestly don't care because they white. That's like asking me
Well,
if white people.
it's
Hold on, hear what I'm saying. That's like asking me if my people jumped off the cliff, would I care? And if somebody else jumped off the cliff that's not my people, would I care? I really don't care that the other folks jumped off the cliff, but I do care that my people jumped off the cliff.
well, okay, I agree with that with you because, and I know you keep that type of stance, but there are people out there judging one picture and not the other. Like, oh, they're
yeah,
okay,
but let
but
me put
that,
it like this.
and it's just kind of
But let
like,
me
well,
put it
how
like
can
this.
you put that out there for like, oh, that's like this and it's wrong and it's degrading, but they're doing the same thing just because they
I,
have more clothes on, it's
Let me put it
better.
like
Like,
this.
I don't see how the white
Exactly.
just because there's a
It
white
don't
woman
make a
involved
difference.
don't make either picture better. It's you know what I'm saying. Period. I wouldn't want to come home and see my woman and my daughter in the white people's clothes doing the same thing either. Period. It's just for me, it's unacceptable behavior. It wouldn't happen in
Well,
my
no,
family.
no, it wasn't for you. I'm just saying, like you, we all know there are individuals that are making that type of like black whores and look how professional the white people look. What? They're doing the same thing. like, but it's a
Well, yeah,
mess.
I know you didn't direct that toward me, but my thing is just either way, if you can put these white folks outfits on these black women, and at the end of the day, for me, that's not good enough for us. You know what I'm saying? Now, if another group of people want to do something else that I feel ain't good enough for my people, that's their own people, so they can do whatever they want. Even when it comes to black people, I can't tell you how to live your life and raise your kids, but I would suggest you do not do that. That would be my suggestion. Don't do that. It looks bad and tacky to me.
So why shouldn't somebody say have a right to go approach their own people and try to say, hey, you know what, this kind of makes us kind of like, I have no problem, I'll put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this. When I go in a gas station and I see one of those guys with their pants halfway down their fucking underwear, that gets on my nerves. That may not necessarily mean that that may not necessarily mean that they are ghetto and violent and pookie ish, but I don't want to have to see that kind of stuff either. And it's not a good look for our people. Now, I will say the most basic fucking thing. I can't control any of these folks. Not the ones in the photo, not the one at the gas station I'm annoyed by. But I'm sorry. I would like to see a better image for our people, period. We always do. Are we more mad at the action or are we more mad at the words? You know, why would you be mad at any corrective anything? I've said this in a video a while back. If black men are fucking up, black women have every right to say something about it. How we take it is, that's a different story. But you can't have it one way and not the other way. It's just that simple. If people think that the white mother and daughter is doing just as horrible as the black mother and daughter, guess what the key word is? Horrible.
That's what I'm
so
with.
so
That's the
that's the
way
only
I'm
point
looking
that
at
I'm
it.
trying.
Yeah, my thing is like it's a bad look, period. So like how does the black woman look better with her child just because some white woman and her child do it? Like that don't help the black woman out at all.
But like the point I was trying to make about 5 minutes ago, I don't have a desire to see my wife and child doing this in front of a car, posing for any picture for anyone. I wouldn't even. My wife ain't even that kind of woman anyway. So I mean, it's not to say that, not to say that this is not some, that she's not being good by doing this. It's just that yes, black people as a whole do have a harsh perception toward other black people. It just is what it is. That,
I wouldn't argue that point, but all I'm gonna say is I'm glad this black woman with her kid. I'm glad that ain't my black woman and my kid. I'm gonna say that.
and you have every right to feel that way. You have every right to feel that way. I mean, so, but I try to understand where everybody's coming from. And, I respect everyone's opinion, but like I said, whatever, despite maybe the daughter, like I don't know, it's just I can come up with little scenes and scenarios in my head all day. Maybe the daughter is a part of a ballet tumbling class, and
I mean,
she likes doing the stretches, and mommy's like, "Oh, I can stretch like that too. Let's take a picture out." Oh,
I don't have a problem with people practicing or stretching for dances or exercise and all that type of stuff. But that's not what I see on these pictures. And honestly, like I said earlier, if you switch the people's clothes around, when it comes to like yoga pants being worn as pants, my daughters would not be allowed to do that. You can't just
yeah,
go out in yoga pants by themselves. You put a dress on top
I
of
agree.
it.
I
or
agree with Chris. I agree with Christina on this though. That is a thick woman right there.
I mean, yeah, she's thick, but my thing is at the end of the day, even if she was skinny, if she was skinny like the white woman and the white girl, like for me personally, and I know a lot of people don't go that far with it, but like yoga pants being worn as pants as outside, like my daughter would never be allowed to do that. She can't live with me and do that. I wouldn't allow my daughter to wear a sports bra like it's a shirt. You know what I'm saying? I
Wait,
personally wouldn't allow that type of stuff.
just randomly out and about, or just like, what if she
That
does something?
period. Period. There is no randomly out about it. If you're in a sports bra and you're outside the home, you have a shirt on. Period.
Oh, because my daughter, she wears like when she goes to like meets, sometimes she'll wear just a bra and like the shorts because she runs track. We're in
If
Texas, so
if it's
Yeah, it's not.
appropriate for the sport, I don't have an issue with something that's appropriate for the sport, and you in a competition. I totally understand that, but anything outside of that, you can't do it.
have they ever? I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just that's now just common. I see that all the time, especially out here.
Well, I see it all the time, but I'm saying just for example, you know what I'm saying? If your daughter had to spend a week with me, okay, she couldn't wear that stuff while she's with me. She'll have other clothes to wear. You can't wear it unless it's like, okay, now if the track competition is going on, you wearing it for that. Okay, here you can put that stuff on, do what you got to do. But once this racing stuff is over with and we pack it up, you going back to some regular clothes. Here's the dress you put on, and here goes some other type of pants, but yeah, like she wouldn't be under my care and be allowed to walk around in yoga pants just like they regular pants. Now it may not bother you, and that's fine because you're her mother, but I still wouldn't
Yeah.
allow her to do it while she with me.
Well, that's different because you're a man, so I kind of understand that point of view. Like, yeah, that's okay. That I get that. But do y'all okay agree or disagree? Do y'all see how black people kind of sexualize a lot of shit that shouldn't be sexualized? Like, we look at like our children and be like, "Oh, you're a thought if you do that," or "You're a whore if you do that." Oh, your fast ass shouldn't be doing that. I feel like we do that too much as people.
I don't see that as sexualizing people because I don't see black people saying stuff like that. You're a whore if you do that. Talking about non-sexual
Shit.
stuff. I'm saying talking about non-sexual stuff. I see it when they talk about something sexual, but now to me, it's a more of a view that I see like white folks or other non-black people saying like you're a whore because you wore that dress. That's a whore's dress. You're a whore. I see them doing stuff like that. I don't see us. I see us calling people negative terms based on behavior.
I see stuff get said like, what's you hear, oh, that's little Becky's fast ass. Like, I don't know why I use the word Becky or Shay or Tasha's fast ass. Like,
Well,
that I
I
see
believe
that being
people.
used a lot.
When I seen girls being called fast, it's because they were fast girls.
Eh, not
They were
always
So
true.
they
so
were at a young age trying to get male attention. That's what they were
so so
doing.
so so Christina. So basically, what you're saying is that it's unfair to judge a woman based on her apparel and her what she does as far as herself in public.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah. But I gotta go. So y'all finish this. I'll listen. I'll catch y'all later.
Okay.
You ain't fixing to catch me in this trap, Kev. I see what you're about to do, but I'm going. Bye, y'all.
All right, later.
All right, and that was Rain. Please check out her gaming page, Rain's World 24, and also Peanut Butter Girls. Thanks for stopping by. So where were we?
Well,
Where were
I'm gonna say this. Dang, what did Rain just say? Did I lose the thought that quick? Um, I guess I lost it. I guess it'll come back.
we?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But just do you
Oh,
think
I
that?
got it. I got it. Uh, I
Go ahead, go ahead.
I people who say they see when like she said like when you were asking her about should a woman be judged based on this, and it's like, nah, everybody can judge anybody however they want to because that's your prerogative as a person. If I see you
Yeah.
dressed however I see you dressed, it is my prerogative. It is my right to judge you any way I see fit. You don't have to like the judgment I give you, but that don't make it wrong. At the end of the day, once you go into the public, you're open to public domain. Like this picture. Now, this black lady, she may not be no hoe just because she did this, but you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if she was my woman, I wouldn't allow her to do this. She couldn't stay my woman doing this. I have a conversation with that. That'll be the last time she ever did that if she's gonna be with me. You know. If we were married already, that's a whole different problem because it's a little bit different to walk away from a wife than a girlfriend. But a girlfriend, nah, that'll be your last time doing that one, or we done.
All right. So, let's talk about another thing. The non-black people do it too, kind of deal. Do you think that we use that as kind of every time we see something like this, the first go to is to go find a non-black uh like person like well a non-black mother daughter to put the picture side by side just like this one. Do you think that is a cover for are we covering for messed up behavior when we do stuff?
I mean, yes, but I also think it's just a person. Normally, when somebody's saying it in that context, it is their worship of that other particular type of person. Because usually it's well, when I see it on Facebook, usually it's in the context of white women do it too. When it's something to do with what a woman did, people say, "Well, white women do it too." Well, that tells me you worship white women and you want to be in that position because that's like saying, "What would Jesus do?" You see what I'm saying? Like if that's my example, because I hold him in that high regard, that's the person I should be looking forward to. And if you don't want to like take a religious route with it, it's like, okay, if my father did, like what would I if I was my father, what would I do in this situation? What do I think my father would do? Because that's who I hold a high esteem for. I respect his decision making. What would he do right now? And I would go in that direction. So when you come back and say, well, such and such did it, that tell me who you worship to a certain degree, or who you give great reverence to, or who you truly respect when it's all said and done. Because if you can take what they say and say because they did it is good, then you cannot say that that's not the person who's helping to set your bar when it comes to life. So if you're going to pick a person to set your bar, I think you should pick the right person. And I'm not going to no other groups of people trying to set any bar about anything that's negative.
I mean, it's just like this. It's like when you have a conversation in the black community, if you acknowledge something that's fucked up, but you want to say other groups do it too, then you don't care about healing what's about us. Wouldn't not would would it would not being a part of that behavior make that us better than the other group?
I mean, 2 plus 2 has always equal 4. So yes, you are absolutely correct. Now the
Yeah.
question is, why wouldn't they want to be better than the other group?
I mean, but they already think we have this thing where we already think that we're better than the other group.
You know,
Like
in that
I,
context,
I
I
would
can't say that.
let me,
I
let me
can't.
let me let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I would rather not wake up as anybody other than a black man. I don't care how bad it is for us. I am glad that I was born a black man. I have no desire to be like other races. I don't think that other races are better. I like being who I am. I mean, if you think that's racist or whatever, I mean, well, what the fuck ever. I mean,
Right. So be it.
I
So
mean,
be it.
what the fuck more can I say? I mean, I love being a black man, but it's like, but if a white dude eats a fucking just like when the Philadelphia Eagles, you remember when they won the Super Bowl, the first thing you see is an image of a white guy. he nosedives in a pile of poop and starts chewing. Now, if I did something like that, I'm not gonna bring up that guy.
I feel you.
Like, I'm just a person that ate some shit. I'm not gonna say, hey, you know what, that guy did it too. I mean, I know that's, but no matter, it's like this. No matter how you say it, no matter how you slice it, with a lot of us, when you say negative stuff about our group of people, and you're a part of our group of people, you are seen as being somewhat of a self hater. That's the word that they love to use. You are a self hater.
Yeah, that's a mark of dumb people. That's a mark of dumb people, if you ask me. when you bring it up something negative in the context of we shouldn't do that so we can be better off, and someone say, well, you're a self hater because you think we shouldn't do this negative thing, I just look at you like you're an idiot. That's all I can see from that.
Is it self-hate to focus on the negative aspects of the black community in a discussion to maybe give ideas on how we can fix things?
I mean, of course not, because you can't improve anything until you first figure out how it's already working. Right. That's something that's done every day in business.
Oh, and here's a big question, and I want Raphael. Raphael, you there? Oh, no, man. No, he might have fell asleep or something. He might just be away. I mean, he'll be back soon. But let me ask you a question. Who are the perfect people to have any kind of conversation about African American, ADOS, melanated, black, whatever label you want to put on it? Not necessarily the N word. Although we have people. Oh, and that's another one too. Yeah, I'm glad I thought about that. The black people versus niggas kind of deal. Yeah, we need to get to that one. But who are the perfect people do you think that are tailored for these discussions about our community and discussion of the problems and other solutions? I know the answer.
Oh. Level-headed black people. That's what I was thinking. I mean, who else would you want to talk about that?
Ding, 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 ding. Correct. Level-headed blacks. I mean, and some blacks that are just a wee bit, not too much off, but a wee bit off too, because we need them too. But yeah, but the point is that I was trying to make was us black people. Skin. I know some people are skin folk.
Well, I mean, I feel what you're saying, because it's like if we got problems going on, like I don't need a bunch of white people trying to tell me how to fix all our problems. I don't need a bunch of any other type of people trying to tell me how to fix all of our problems. That don't make sense.
Do you think any of those groups would take anything from us? Like seriously, like dog, you know what? Like me approaching a Caucasian man, dog. You know what you need to do as a Caucasian man? You need to do X, Y, and Z. And you know what he's probably going to turn around and do? He's probably going to turn around and say to me, well, you can take X, Y, and Z and shove it up your patoot. They'll say something like that. And you know what? Due to my ignorance and even trying something like that, I deserve a remark like that. Because guess what I'll do? If a Caucasian man approach me, giving me suggestions on how I can improve myself or how I should think and believe and act as a black man, I'm gonna I mean, I'm not an easy person to deal with once I realize that kind of shit's going on. I'm gonna tell you, get the fuck out of my face. That's gonna be my exact words. I was taught by a very wise man in my life to look somebody in the eye every time you say something.
I mean, that's good advice. They need to know you're not playing with them. But now I'm gonna say this. I'm a person that believes in you can take good from anybody. But when you come to a person in the context, like if I come to a person in the context of, hey, Caucasian man, let me tell you how to be a better Caucasian. Now he should look at me very quickly. Yeah, he should look at me very quickly and figure out that he's been Caucasian a lot longer than me, because I ain't never started. So yeah, that's not like the best way to start a conversation. Now, if if there was something I could say, hey, my people, so we get these good results. Maybe you want to try it. I can see you saying something like that, but at the end of the day, you can't trip whether the people take your advice or not, because you talking about their group of people. Like, and honestly, that group of people should be doing the most to figure out to figure out how to handle their problems. You know,
but imagine this. You're at a party, right? You got your Izod shirt on with your pleated pants and stuff, and then some chiseled chin guy named Chad walks up to you, shares a couple jokes. He was like, "Man, what are you drinking?" You said what you're drinking, and then all of a sudden he said something like, "Man, you know what though? You know what? A little soul in me just told something. You know what black people need to do? Automatically, you're gonna look at Chad like you're gonna want to punch him in his face."
First of all, Chad need to be a pre-approved person. Even feel that comfortable, he come talk to me like on that type of level. Like, who told you it's okay to even say this to me? Like, are you
Okay, so
pre-approved already?
yeah,
Did my brother bring you? Like, did my cousin bring you? Like, who brought you here?
by his one black friend, but but anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I'm trying to establish how absurd that is.
Because it sounds absurd. It does sound absurd. It really does.
Yeah, even though the hypothetical situation I just said was very absurd, but the idea is absurd. It's like, yeah, of course, you could probably give me advice on how I can make, my life better financially or something like that. Or, you can probably tell me, don't step over there. There's a hole in that ground right there. And I can clearly see the hole. Yeah, of course. But my experience as a black man, nah, stay away from me with that. So the point I'm trying to make is this. When we have a conversation with another black person,
mm-hmm.
When you have a conversation with another black person on the very issues that you would never have any other conversation with any other group with, why would you say why would you bring up white people? why would you bring them up? Why would you bring that up? I mean, I know like anybody with any kind of sense of history knows what they did. What historically they've done. So nobody ever denies that kind of thing. But if I want anybody to be at the top of any kind of group in any kind of category as something positive, I want it to be us. I want it to be black people. I'm not saying to rule over others, because a lot of people think that when you say that kind of thing, that you're supposed to that it's supposed to be some kind of form of supremacy just because we've had a group try that already. So no, we wouldn't want anybody else doing that, and I agree with that. I don't believe that any group should be superior to the other. But as far as conversations, solutions, problem solving, as far as what's best for our community, I think that conversation should be had with us. I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it should be had with us, and the only way I really see, I'm not saying white people can't be brought up in the proper context, but if for me, like I was saying, smart people, they'll learn from anybody. Okay, so like we're having a discussion about our group of people, and I'm trying to do something that white people have already done, then I come to context, well, they've done this, and they did it by doing X, Y, and Z. I bring it up in that context because we're talking about how to improve something. But when you talk about something negative and you say, well, white people do it, like, okay, how long you gonna worship white people while you standing here next to me? That's how I'm looking at you. I don't really need you to worship them right now. We trying to fix a problem.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I know. It's like with that, with people to say that, I'll just be like, I know. I acknowledge that. But how do we go about making us better? I mean, like I said, I don't give the sweet pass to adults and people who are thinking and supposedly thinking. Like you'll never hear me, making excuses for if say some guy named Tyrone Porter who just happened to be a young black man slaughters his entire family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ever say, what about Chad Benson, who walked in his mother and father's house and gunned down him and his grandfather and his uncle? Like, what about that guy? I'm going to be devastated that there was that kind of senseless death in my community.
Yeah, that's not the proper context to to bring that up. The only thing
What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, if you're comparing something,
both are tragedies. Both are tragedies.
but I'm saying, like, if you're comparing something negative, like a crime, the only way it would make sense to bring up a non-black person if you're trying to compare sentences. I can see that. Like, how come?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would make sense. But you know what I'm saying. But there's very few reasons I think that you better bring up a non-black person, and it makes sense to the conversation. You know, so, and when people bring up non-black people where it doesn't make sense to the conversation, I just see that as a form of worship. You worship those people, and you should stop. Learn to like yourself.
So overall, it's just one huge deflection. That's what you're saying.
I mean, it is a deflection, but I'm saying those people, when people bring up non-black people to justify negative behavior, they're basically telling you through different words that those are the people I worship, respect, or give reverence to. They're telling you that.
You know, it also says that I'm okay with said behavior when you think like that.
Absolutely, because this other person, they cleanse my behavior. You see, and I'm using, like I said Jesus earlier, like from a religious standpoint. See, like if you know, if you're gonna go at something from a religious standpoint, like if you tell me I can't take a fig off that tree and eat it, but I can be like, well, Jesus did it because Jesus is my example in that religion. You see what I'm saying? Well, Jesus did it, so it's okay for me to do it. That makes all the sense in the world. But that's who I would be worshiping. You see what I'm saying? That's who I worship. I worship Jesus. So if Jesus do it, it makes it okay for me to do it. You see what I'm saying? Because that's my example. So when you say, well, this guy over here, Paul, he hit a car and took off. You know what I'm saying? He ain't leave no insurance information. He just left. He hit somebody parked car and he took off. So I hit somebody parked car and took off. You see what I'm saying? So if my justification is Paul did it too, and Paul's some white guy somewhere, you see what I'm saying? I'm looking at Paul like I look at Jesus.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Or like I said, like if my dad did it, you see what I'm saying? And if I'm using an example of my dad, it's gonna be a positive example. But I don't look at like my dad and say, well, my dad killed 3 people last week, so it's okay if I do it. You know?
Yeah.
He killed 3 people with no cause. You know?
Yeah. But okay. Let me take this conversation to another spot. Probably gonna end this here shortly, but you know, do you think the Pookie and Ray Ray versus the socially awkward Lane? Now, we have already established the ridiculousness of the narrative and even the words themselves being used. So there's no need to go back through that. But do you think that's an example of black people judging other black people too harshly?
No, I'm not gonna say that.
For even both sides, like even the Pookie archetypes and the socially awkward lame archetypes. Do you think that is a? Do you think that's a case of bad judgment?
I'm not a person that's anti-judgment. Mm-hmm. You know, because I think God gave you a brain and you should use it. That's what I think. You know, so he gave me the ability to make all types of judgments. I see a certain person, maybe I should walk across the street, maybe I shouldn't walk across the street. If I see a car, maybe I should maybe I should be trying to drive that car, maybe I shouldn't. If I see a building under construction, maybe I should walk through, maybe I shouldn't. He gave me the ability to make all types of judgment calls. Why wouldn't I make a judgment call when it comes to people?
And that's very important. You know why? Because even if they're black, a lot of mistakes are made because we don't make the proper judgment and assessments about people. You have to do that in order to survive. Literally, you have to judge other people. And you know what? Being black, I think I have to judge you more carefully because it's like it's a part of me that is already connected to you. So, and you know, based on all of the hurtful indoctrinations that we have dealt with since, you know, I would say slavery until now, because all of that counts. It's not being a victim. All of that counts. You have to be careful sometimes. Like it's a sad thing for me to have to sit here and say. I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't have to say something like that. I wish I didn't have to say something like that with truth, because it's a sad thing. I wish we could be in a condition to where we didn't have to judge each other like that. But let me tell you something a very wise man once told me. And yes, I mean that literally. He's a very wise man. You know, I'm not about my father. You know, my father's a very wise man too. But you know, I've had the privilege of having the company, in you know, the presence rather, the presence of wise people.
Mm-hmm.
So the wise man told me this because I said something about judging. You know, when I was younger, not very much younger. I was already into adulthood. He told me, "Why are you sweating? Why people judge people? Everybody judges everybody. Everybody judges everybody. Anybody you go out there and look at is judge someone at one point, or judge. Or he was saying it like people judge people daily. Just like this. If I had the worst show on YouTube, which I don't believe, I have the best show on YouTube. But if I had the worst show on YouTube and everybody's opinion was sour about it, then it's justified. You know, they have the right to judge. They have a right to say that whether they're gonna fuck with you or not. Period. You know, we make those decisions too. You know, if I think that a feminist television show is a horrible place to be, then that is my right. That is my prerogative. I'm judging that. It involves humans and everything. If I think that this TV is better than that TV, or you know, or the person telling me that TV is better than that TV is lying, yes, I have a right to judge that. There is literally no way to get out of judging anyone. Literally, there's no way to get out of judging people. You can sit up there and pretend. I mean, seriously, Roger. Seriously, like,
bro, I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's a very horrible thing to realize at the end of the day that every day you judge somebody for something at one point. It's like it could be a very small thing, and it could just be casual. You're probably not even thinking about it, but then boom, you do it. You do it. Like for real, like I tell you people who are very easily and quickly judged, and this is very cruel for me to say, and I will say this as a disclaimer: beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but we quickly judge ugly people.
True.
Like if a motherfucker look fucked up, it's like, ooh, that's it. You know, even if we're thinking it's over with, it's over with.
Well, you're right.
Out
here. You're right. But then that's why I say I'm not an anti-judgment person. Anybody trying to go through life without making judgments is an idiot. That you're a very dumb person. I wouldn't put you in charge of anything. How does a person running not even a whole company, just a section of a company, how do you do that without making judgments? Okay, how do you hire a person without making judgments?
All right. But let me take it here. Can you be too judgmental? Can you go into overkill with the shit? Could it get to the point where it's just unnecessary?
How can you tell anybody that their opinion? I mean, it's not your opinion; it's their opinion. How can you say they're looking at you too judgmentally? Like that, it don't even. It's their opinion. I mean, the question don't make a lot of sense to me. I just say, like, based on how I view the world, it don't make a lot of sense to me. If I think you're ugly, you know what I'm saying? If I say a person, because you was just talking about ugly people, on a scale of 1 to 10, they a 10 in my eyes. Another person may say that person is a 9. Another person could say that's a 3. No, if he a 10 to me, you a 10. You can't tell. You're being too judgmental. No, he's just ugly. He's just that ugly to me. She just that ugly to me. That's all. That's my opinion.
Okay, all right, okay. Now, one more thing, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We'll both get a final word. And I think Raphael, like, he's out. I think he's done. But but it's like this. If you think you're not being judged when you walk out the door, if you think you're not being judged, that you go everywhere and nobody's judging you, then you will not make it. You will not make it. I'm pretty sure. I walked in Walmart a couple times, just minding my own business. I mean, and I don't even know if this actually happens or not. But, I'm just trying to establish the fact that I don't give a shit. I don't care. There's somebody in that motherfucker somewhere in his like that probably was thinking to themselves when they saw me, oh man, look at this motherfucker right. Who this motherfucker think he is? Man, it happens. It happens. It happens. See, we catch ourselves doing it so much when someone does it to us. It's like we have this like we just had this whole self-righteous thing going where we feel like that, hey, you know what, since I don't do it, which, people are in denial of their own personalities every day. Since I don't do it, nobody else should do it to me. Oh man, look at that motherfucker right there. Now, that's how we think.
Yeah, a lot
when
of folks
somebody do it to
that.
us, but then when somebody do it to us, it's the worst thing in the world. God damn it. It's time. And then, you go in the attic and get the little night suit, and then you go out and then try to fight this person and challenge them to a duel. Whatever the person does. but it's like this, man. It's like this. You can't stop judgment. The ultimate, and you go. We're gonna go ahead and get our final words. You can't stop judgment, man. For real, you can't. It's like you ain't gonna be able to stop judging anybody. You ain't gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to escape judgment from anyone. Period. It's gonna happen at all basic levels. Like even the way you drive, people are gonna judge that too.
Uh-huh.
You might have a bad haircut. It's a fucking bad haircut. Shit. Somebody say it a bad haircut. Don't break down. You're judging me, motherfucker.
Yeah, people so sensitive.
Flag your channel. I'm gonna stop that video. Goddamn it! Don't tell the truth about me in that video.
Now that's super sensitive.
Don't make me get one of my trick babies. Let me stop. Hey, let me stop. But okay, man, we got to go ahead and wrap it up. Any final words, Mr. Steven, sir, of the Roger Report?
There's not a lot of things that in life that can just make you an idiot. But if you go through this world talking about I'm not judging people and people shouldn't judge me, you qualified as an idiot at that point. You've qualified as an idiot. You cannot. How do you have the 5 senses that you have, and you don't make judgment with them? Like you make a judgment when you smell something. You make a judgment when you hear something. You make a judgment when you see something. And I can go on and on. No, that's what judging is for, so you can make the best decision possible. Now, yeah, we don't always make the best decision possible, but you've been given the ability to use what you need to make the best decision possible. So, yeah, if you're worried about being judged, you're basically an idiot. Now, I will say this. People who are worried about what's being reported about them, the best thing you can do for that is give people good things to report. That means look at yourself. Make sure you're doing what you feel is good. And if somebody's reporting something bad about you, force them to have to lie to do it. Just that simple. You know, you live the way you believe is morally correct, and you'll be all right. You shouldn't have to worry about everybody judging you, because people gonna say, "Hey, you're great. I know about you. You do things in a good way. You're a great person." See, when you got people saying stuff like that all the time, you don't worry about how you're being judged. And this is Roger Stevens. Check out my channel, The Roger Report. It is also the best show on YouTube. I am a habitual line stepper, and I'm out.
All right. And why would anyone argue with that in a million years is beyond me. Write me a letter about it, please. But like I said, it's like, yeah, I mean, I had some tender moments in my life, where my feelings were kind of chapped when someone said something. And, I felt like they were being very judgy and I was all poo poo about it. And then my 10th birthday came along and then it started to solve a lot of things for me. Then my 11th, then my 12th, then my 13th. I was very, I was a little bit more real earlier than some other points in my life.
Man, it was so great to hear you say that. I believe it, though. I believe it.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the big thing that I want everyone to remember the next time someone says something that you don't exactly agree with. Everything is debatable. Get over yourself. It's not that serious. I personally think I'm here to help. I don't want to see you fail. But also, I don't want you to want to see me fail. But the difference between you and me is deep down, I really don't give a fuck. I'm going to say, hey, if I have a bad assessment of you, you have to understand that you can't win them all. You can't. You can't. I can't win them all. If I had a perfect record, shit, I'd be famous. I'd be fucking famous right now. Seriously. Not my biggest desire in the world, but that's a famous ass person right there. To win everything? Like, how many people you know like that? How many? Not even the New England Patriots win everything. They win a lot. I mean, not even Michael Jordan in his goddamn it. But
Hey,
when he the Washington Wizards, when he was with the Washington Wizards, he didn't win.
that's a low blow, kid. That's a low blow.
Space Jam. Space Jam. Let me just say that. but anyway, man, as you see in my avatar, Black YouTube, I'm watching you guys. Hopefully we can all do the right thing before before all the shenanigans get started. I feel like I think that Black YouTube is still in the womb right now. I don't think that baby's been had yet. I mean, once, but that's just a thought that was kind of like off topic. But back to what I was saying. In my quest to become a very wise man, I take wise people's advice, and you know what? It's just that everybody judges everybody. We're not immune. We're not immune. Period. No, none of us are. None of us. So please, please stop. Please stop. Just learn how to have a conversation, like a lot of us do. Like a lot of us. Like a lot of us do. And if we want to call out whatever kind of negative behavior that impacts our community and impacts our children, whether it be gangster behavior or thottish behavior, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation. Because guess what? I don't know of a single word that can hold a gun. Not one word that can stab you with the knife. I don't know one word that can do that. Constructive dialogue, people, not judgment. But, I'm with Roger Stevens. I'm not anti-judgment at all. I can own who I am. I think it's about time we start doing that. Why? Cousin Kev, we trust. Please subscribe to the best show on YouTube, hands down. Black men being brutally honest. And we're out.